Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 5 Virus mid-levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 levels, starting out with this Virus mid one, Tops Electric Reupload by Omegada, 3 plays and a score of 0. The rest 4 or 5 levels covered will be taken from the Mega Man Maker official Discord's Level Showcase channel. And as always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave the level name or preferably the level ID in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. And as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also, the timestamps also present in the description. I already played 2 Omegada's levels before, the first one being Snakes in the Bay, which was a Snake Man focused level, the second one being a Metal Man stage that took place underwater, which I did in the previous part. And this seems to be a Top Man stage that has the Magnet Man tile set. Oh goody, we're introduced to all these Yoku blocks over a bottomless pit. And we only have Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 weaponry and utilities, of course. Sadly, no charge shot. I see Yoku block over here, but I'd rather take the safe route and use Rush Jet, especially with that Poton coming in. So far, so good. I don't know why there was an extra life that fell over there. Was that bait for something? I hope not. I'm taking my magnet missile out because I'm almost 100% sure there was going to be an enemy dropping there. No thanks, I don't want the tank. I'm already well enough and I really don't want to die. Well, scratch that. The checkpoint is right over there, so I'll go for it. And I didn't die in the first place. Good. Come on, I'm waiting for the second Yoku block to spawn. Thank you. A little bit of a tight jump over there. Because of that, I won't take any chances and I'll just use Rush Jet as a springboard. Of course, I could have just used my other utility, of course, that being Rush Jet, which I will utilize over here and circumvent the entire challenge. Thanks. After all, if there's an easy button, I'll take it as much as possible. Really, the few enemy types I see here are all the Potons, the Hoppers, the Prop Tops or Walkers, as well as the Mega Man 1 Mets. The Mega Man 1 Mets are a bit more annoying than the Mega Man 2 Mets because the Mega Man 2 Mets at least stay out of their shell for a bit longer. Honestly, I would have liked more gimmick variation in this stage, but this works, I suppose. That's me using my auto-fire button on my controller, so I don't need to button mash as much. I guess we're at the end of the stage. In comparison to the 2 previous stages, those being Snake Man and Metal Man by Omegada, this feels like it's the least fun of the bunch. I much preferred those 2 stages, they had more gimmick variety. What's your weakness? These Metars are making things a lot harder. Now they're dead, thank you. Did I try everything? I did. It's Metal Blade. It doesn't deal as much damage because it has so much ammo. So this was a straightforward traditional level, I suppose, that focused more on the Yoku blocks as the gimmick, and a solid set of about 4 plus 1 enemy, the last enemy being the big eye there. Although this stage personally felt kinda bland, especially in comparison to Snakes in the Bay and the Metal Man submarine stage. Honestly, out of the 3 stages I played from Omegada, well technically 4, I would say that Metal Man stage was the best. I won't give this a thumbs up mainly because I felt it was too bland. Still, there are about 4 or 5 more stages from Omegada to play, and now I'm moving on to levels that I found on the aforementioned Discord. So second on the lineup is Xtreme Volleybomb by Decibel, 25 plays and a score of 9. I randomly picked these levels from that Discord, of course, so to prevent bias. Oh, we only have access to Shine, so I think I know what they want us to do. We need to reflect Bombman's bombs right back at him if we want to deal damage to him. And I have infinite life energy as long as I'm good enough. Of course, he's immune against the Shine. Well, this is certainly a fun boss fight, actually. Very unique, and it well utilizes the Shine. It is a short one, sure, but it's fun. And it isn't too long because Bombman takes quite a bit of damage from the Shine when his bomb is reflected back at him. Only thing that may be a problem is with the Telly's positioning, but if you're close enough or kill off the Telly's fast enough, it's fine. It's a relatively straightforward encounter. Sure, it's like a gimmick-based boss battle, but it's fun. Well, more like special weapon because it focused on using the Shine. Honestly, this would be like a great end to a full stage utilizing the Shine as the main special weapon. I did like it. For this short one-screen encounter, I'd give this a 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. So, good work, Decibel. If the levels like the such are as short as the previous one, this part will be a shorter one. So third on the lineup is Train Traveler by Viral Gamer, 21 plays and a score of 4. Okay, this seems to be a longer stage. We're introduced to all these hotheads now. All these levels seem to be on the better side. Then again, I kind of picked older levels when I randomly picked them. That's probably why some of these are a bit better. Oh neat, we also have the Tackle Fire, so this level was made in version 1.1. And we have the Hot Dog, so of course it was made there. Hard Knuckle, Ice Slasher, and Gravity Hold. Well, that's an awesome upgrade for the Hard Knuckle. Before, if you used the Hard Knuckle and hit a durable enough enemy, it would just dissipate, and then you'd have to fire another one. But here, if it doesn't kill off the enemy, the Hard Knuckle will keep punching the enemy over and over. That's quite an appropriate upgrade to the Hard Knuckle, personally speaking, so great job, Mega Man Maker team. I need to stop calling this game Mega Maker, but I've been calling this game Mega Maker for over 47 parts or so it's gonna take quite a while before I completely transition to saying this is Mega Man Maker. Oh well. Oh, the Hard Knuckle is so fun to use. And stuff like the Ice Slasher as well. It's so useful to freeze enemies in place. That was a slick dodge over there. And now restart checkpoint, because I took a ton of damage from the Big Eye. As I mentioned in the previous part, I would love to see new special weapon focus stages on every single new special weapon that was added. Oh neat, we even have the train background from Chargeman, so the Chargeman team is appropriate here. I didn't realize that the Mega Man Maker team would have added scrolling backgrounds. So even more pluses, I'm quite impressed. Now we can totally have the Chargeman stage recreation. Now if only the ground can shake every so often. And it makes sense because this stage is called Train Traveler. And I'm just getting hit by every single killer bomb. I mean killer missile. And now I guess we're in the cabin of this train. One of these days, I'll have to go into the level editor and see all the new features that were added in version 1.1. It seems to be becoming even bigger and bigger an update every time I play new levels, with all of the new stuff that's added, not just enemies but special weapons especially. The new special weapons, as well as the 2 new bosses and other stuff, will open up a whole new slew of possibilities, especially for gimmick-based levels. So once again, bravo Mega Man Maker team, I can't emphasize this enough. At least I can one-shot all these enemies, that's really appreciated. Oh wow, we even have these Gear Knight enemies, or Gear enemies. I would have expected the team to only have added 5 or 8 new enemies, but it seems to be a lot more. Again, I can't emphasize this enough how impressed I am on the Mega Man Maker team. I have the distinct impression we're going to be fighting a boss now, so as always, abuse checkpoints. Time to fight Top Man. I wish if there was an option to have an hard AI version of every boss fight. Nope, that's not its weakness. Ice Slasher. Well, I guess he's a fast-moving Roadmaster, so Ice Slasher would be devastating for him. Unfortunately, it causes problems with fighting the tellies. Or of course I could just use the gravity hold as such. And that was the end of Train Traveler. A nice usage of the tileset in order to create a train, as well as a new scrolling background to create the background of a train moving. I liked how we started out at the station, climbed onto the train, and then entered the cabin. It kinda reminded me of Charge Man's stage in that way. So good work, Vile Gamer. So forward on the lineup is Across the Sea of Time by Blue Bomber 285, 22 plays and a score of 6. And it appears that the boss will be Time Man, so let's see what this level has to offer. As always, check the left to see if there are any secrets. Good, the Mega Man 4 charge shot. With the Mega Man 5 Wily Fortress team, the remix version from Mega Man Maker. I see why this is called Across the Sea of Time now. This is a water stage. We're introduced to the spikes in a safe enough environment. Wow, we even have the crabs from Mega Man 2's Bubble Man stage. Of course, they're a lot easier to deal with because we have the charge shot. Like Bubble Man stage, we also have the Croakers. But they were introduced in the Cyrano update anyway, so we already know what they do. Well, those are really in the open for some reason. I'm not complaining though. I get the feeling I can make this jump. There we go. Just need to position rush at the edge of that platform. The only other complaint about this stage I would say is that the background is really on the plain side. We just have a purple background. Goody, we have the flipping platform section with those enemies. Oh, how joyful. And I really don't want to use the time slow because it also slowed down the platform switching, which will not work to my benefit. It'll make the stage even harder. Needle cannon time. Might as well use its damage over time properties. A little bit of forced weapon usage of the rush coil here, so this is more of a fortress-based level instantaneously. Well, to be fair, in Mega Man 3 you did have initial access to the Rush Coil, well, ever since Mega Man 3, so it does kind of make sense. So I'll still forgive it to be a traditional stage in that regard. It said Ring Boomerang over there for some reason. So I guess I should have it equipped. We also have the big fish enemies as well. Glad that's there, I suppose. Even the water segments over here are relatively on the bland side. I wish there was more variation in the terrain, because otherwise the stage kind of feels more on the forgettable and bland side. At least have something more to the background to make it more interesting. I see you there. Time slow time. I guess we go left this time. And now we have this boss. Wait a minute. Oh, they don't persist if you switch weapons. That would have made them even more useful because you can continuously do the damage over time. Really, I have nothing more to say about this stage. Even the challenge progression feels a bit odd. This stage feels like it has a relatively flat difficulty curve. And the gimmicks aren't being introduced well either. And the background and terrain differences don't really exist that much. It's overall a relatively bland stage. Neat, we have the Time Man, background, and tile set I think, so let's see what his weakness is. Again, it's the Ring Boomerang. I wonder why the developers or designers keep using the Ring Boomerang as Time Man's weakness. So that was the end of Across the Sea of Time. It did fulfill the sea portion. I'm not sure what the timing was to do with it. And I already talked about the stage and how bland it is, so I can't give this a thumbs up. Sorry, Blue Bomber. Fifth on the lineup is Toadman's Reptilic Facility by FakeVirus. 19 plays and a score of 5. Let's hope if this level is less bland than the previous one. Only topspin though. Well, I see why it's called Reptilic. We have all the Snake Man platforms. And I want to save up my topspin energy just in case. And I totally forgot I had access to the Mega Man 5 charge shot. I keep forgetting because of all the stages that don't actually give you access to the special or the charge shot. Well, thank you, Engine. Thank you for embedding me in the wall there. That was in conjunction with the Sparkman platforms, of course. Let's hope this time works a bit better. This time I'll kill off the Sniper Joe just to be safe. Well, it worked and oh goody. I always hate these sliding segments with those Sparkman platforms. They're always so finicky. Especially if you're caught at the side and you can get embedded into the wall, or basically caught by it and pulled up into the spikes. Alternate pathways and a lot of enemies here. E&M tank. I guess this is more like a survival room. I hope these E&M tanks will be useful. That being said, I hope the stages become too difficult. Take care of the Screw Bomber, avoid all of the Susies. Still get hit. Could this be it? The end of the stage? I get the feeling it's the end of the stage because there is a checkpoint right in the middle of this corridor. So as always, reset. No, it isn't. It was just the midway point of the stage itself. This is the place where you need to use the top spin. I guess this makes it more like a fortress level then. Now we need to wait for the footholders to resynchronize. That was tight. That went a lot better than I expected and... oh, boss fight. Well, I guess I'll be using topspin then. It seems to be dealing quite a bit of damage. And... I'm not even doing anything on the controller. I'm just standing there and... wailing at Toadman. This makes this fight even more pathetic. Even with the classic Toadman encounter, at the very least you have to use the controller and keep shooting at him and moving around. With this, with topspin, I can keep jumping on him and never worry about pressing anything on the controller. So this was a nice fortress level, and I did like the one segment at the end with the topspin, although I didn't like the middle segment over there with all of the Sparkman platforms. This is in the area where I almost like it, but I feel like it needs to do something a little bit more, something more to my preference. So this is well designed, at least a 5.5 out of 10 for me. So sixth and final level of this part is Stupid Boss Battle 1 by Chillstyler, 49 plays and a score of 18. That was very short and... oh, that's why it's very short. We need to find Napalm Man right on all these footholders. Napalm bombs don't actually switch direction. Or they go right through the footholders. Well, this is certainly a unique spin to fighting Napalm Man I haven't seen before. So I will give credit where credit's due. But there are spikes everywhere, so I gotta be careful so I don't fall in the pit. Yeah, this is certainly fun. Short stage, but I enjoyed it. So I will give this a thumbs up and... oh. After looking at the recording time, I think I'll do 2 more levels by this author because I'm under 30 minutes. So, 7th on the lineup is Stupid Boss Battle 6 by Chillstyler, 29 plays and a score of 2. So I guess we're going to get different iteration of boss battles in rather interesting environments. Now we have the charge kick. At least he's weak against this, and... instant death everywhere. This is certainly going to be a step up in difficulty in comparison to the previous one. At least Nightman's weakness is the charge kick, otherwise this could have gone a lot worse. Oh no. And if I'm on the side of the platform and I get hit by Nightman's mace, I'm dead. And did Nightman just jump off the stage over there? That's the only problem, getting knocked off the platform, which is super easy to happen. I think I know what to do here. That's how we do it. I'm taking advantage of all those skull enemies' ability to just damage boost me, and pointing myself in the correct way of the platform so I have enough space to get knocked back onto. So, Stupid Boss Battle 9, 17 plays and a score of 3. This time we're fighting Crashman. Let's see, green force beams this time. Oh, top spin. I see the problem here. I need to make Crashman jump high enough so I can bounce off. Or stuff like this can happen. Well, thank you, Engine, for making this boss fight a lot easier. I really don't think that was intended, but hey, I enjoyed the stage regardless. You know what, I can fit in 1 or 2 more levels, so let's keep going. I'm really enjoying the unique boss battles that we're fighting. Boss Gang Up 4. 72 plays and a score of 28, so this will be the highest scoring level of this part. As a short one as well, we have the Centaur Man team, and we're fighting Time Man and Top Man. I see, it's gonna slow us down, while everyone else is not gonna be affected. Oh goody, I thought Time Man's time slow would only affect himself, but it seems to also affect his allies. Or rather, what I mean is, it doesn't affect his allies, just me. That opens up a whole bunch of other interesting boss fight abilities. Or, of course, I could do stuff like that, and activate the time slow. Oh neat, it even slows down the level clear music. That's pretty funny. So I will give us a thumbs up. Out of all of the boss gang up stages that you made, I would say that my favorite one was Stupid Boss Battle 9 against Crashman, as well as Boss Gang Up 4, for fighting 2 of them and showcasing how Time Man's time slow actually only affects Mega Man and doesn't affect his allies. Overall, I'd say that my favorite level of this part was Train Traveler, for being a fun traditional Mega Man level where we started out at a train station, boarded a train, entered the train, and then finally exited back onto the train before fighting the boss. It really paid homage to Charged Man stage in a way, especially with the scrolling train background, the train mats, and other enemy types. Honestly, the only thing remaining would probably be the fade outs before entering the cabin, as well as the gradual train shaking every so often. It really felt like a fun stage overall, and the challenge progression was pretty nice, and it utilized the new utilities and items and stuff that were added in the version 1.1 update. So in the next part, I'll be covering a whole bunch of levels that I'll find on the Mega Man Maker official subreddit. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!